Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room podcast. I'm here with my boy James. He is someone I've connected with on Twitter a lot, especially talking about like mock drafts, NBA. That's some very, very fun interactions with him. We don't always agree on everything, but he's very knowledgeable. So I want to have him on the show just to do a mock draft. I don't know if you know if you watch a lot of us. We have three other hosts. So it's like a four-man podcast. We talk about NFL, talk about basketball. I feel like me and another member are the most tapped in like the NBA draft process and college basketball. But I definitely want to have you on the show to do one of these mock drafts. So you can introduce yourself to anybody that's watching. We have around like 500 subscribers.
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name is James Wilder. So I'm just super happy to be here, bro. I appreciate it very much, and I'm excited. Speaking of football, man, my Vikings made a big trade today, so you guys got to talk about that trade up in one of your future episodes because we're getting Drake May, obviously. So yeah, let's get hyped for that.
That is obviously a possibility now, and Drake May is my favorite quarterback in this entire draft. I'm a Drake May fan. I think he's amazing. And so obviously, if you guys are able to get up to two, then him with Kevin O'Connor would be insane. And Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones in the backfield, that would be amazing for his career. I do think some people say that he needs to sit for some time. I think there's some validity to that. I think he does. He is a work in progress. He has a lot of he has a couple of flaws, like as far as like footwork, ball placement. His pocket presence isn't the best. But with Kevin O'Connor there and the offensive line you guys have built, which you thought was gonna be bad. We thought it was gonna be bad. We thought the offensive line would be bad. We thought the defense was gonna be bad. But Brian Flores came in and turned the defense around. And the offensive line was pretty good for where it's projected to be. So I think that'd be a great situation for him, especially with Justin Jefferson there. So hopefully he does go to Minnesota because I want that for
that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm big on Drake May and I'm big on JJ McCarthy this year. The top two guys, like I think they're both like I think Daniels and Caleb are awesome. I don't trust Daniels' body. I just think he takes way too many hits for a guy built like a basketball player. So yeah, Caleb Williams, he's not even the conversation for Minnesota, so I'm not even going to talk about him.
Yeah, I'm not that high on JJ McCarthy. I think he definitely needs to sit a year or two. I think personally, but we're gonna get this. We'll do a full first round mock draft, and actually, I'm gonna put it on the screen because I'll have to do something real quick, especially since we decided to do the. We're gonna just send the lottery. All right. The Fanspo. Do you use Fanspo?
Oh, all the time, dude. All the time. It's such a good app.
It is. Whoever made this is a genius. But the lottery simulators are insane. Like it just feels like so unrealistic to what will happen. But we can sim it and see who gets the first pick.
Man, my light died right before just now, right when the show starts. Is that amazing?
I think it's fine. All right. So like Oklahoma City getting a third pick, like that's crazy. Like
that'd be nuts. Holy crap.
That would be nuts. Oh my god. I don't know what they would, they probably ask somebody or trade it.
We'll see who's
available. All right, so we use it in the mock draft. Okay. First round. All right, let's do this. I'll give you as a guest the first overall pick. Or do you? I am the Pistons guy, but it's up to you.
If you want the first pick, you can have it. No worries.
Yeah, this is my team. I want to take it. I've watched every single game. I was just actually watching that game earlier. It was a disappointing loss to the Miami Heat. Cade struggled in that game. But if the Pistons do get the first overall pick in this draft, I honestly kind of don't want to take Alex Sarr. I kind of don't. It's because I know he is regarded as the best prospect in his class, and for good reason. He is very athletic. I think he's going to be a switchable defender in the NBA. I think he's shown some ability to put the ball on the floor sometimes, knock down a jumper, but I just don't think he fits on the team. I personally have talked to some Pistons fans, and they thought that if they do get the first round pick or the first overall pick, they will have him coming off the bench. Or I just don't think him and Jalen Duren works, especially if his jump shot doesn't come along. So I don't know.
You want to trade the pick? You want to try a trade?
I wouldn't want to trade it, but I just think I would just take Zachary. Honestly,
It's
Yeah,
so hard, man. 'Cause I respect it. I just don't think he's a number one pick.
I think Alex Sarr is like the best player in the draft. He's the best player in the
Mhm.
draft, clearly, probably. But for him to go to the Pistons, I just don't like the fit. And I think I've been battling this scenario for a long time because it's like, do you go fit or do you go talent? And then talent will obviously be Alex Sarr, but it's like it just doesn't fit for me. I would want to move.
Yeah.
I would almost want to move off Jalen Duran with this because I just don't think they fit together. Um, but with the first overall pick, the Pistons are going to select Alex Sarr. When I think Zachary Richey is the best fit here, but that's why I kind of
Mhm.
hope this team gets like second or third or something like that. But Alex Sarr is just like one of those talents, especially in this draft class, you just can't pass up on. Kind of reminds me of Evan Mobley. He's going to be able to switch on the perimeter. It's very athletic. Going to be able to protect the rim. I think he's going to be able to play more of the 4 or 5 in the NBA. Hopefully, his jump shot continues to improve. He's very, very productive in limited minutes as well. And I think he'd be a
Mhm.
good fit next to Cade Cunningham as a lob threat. And they really, really, really need rim protection. Jalen Duran is not a good rim protector at all. So they need this on the team. I don't know how he fits next to Jalen Duran, but if his jump shot continues to like progress, then maybe he can't fit. Like maybe like if he progresses his jump shot like Triple J, then that would be good enough, honestly. So
Yeah,
I've
I
seen
like
I've,
that pick.
I've seen some JJJ comparisons too with Alex Sarr, and I don't think it's the worst one. So any thoughts on the pick though?
I think you have to take best player available, even in a draft like this. And I think you made a good decision. I don't think Detroit's in position to go for fit. I think they need to make trades and make some trades and just go for the best player available. And maybe it's trading the number one pick, But I think if you have the number one pick the guy you think is the best available. So if you think Sarr's the guy, just take him, figure it out. Maybe if you get some more floor space, that's the tough thing about having Ivy and Assur as your 2 and 3 because you're kind of forcing to get floor spacers at your 4 and 5, right? And that's the difficult part, but I think that's a problem that you don't figure out in the draft. I think that's a problem you figure out in the trade market. So I'm with the Alex R pick.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem. And Ivy's 3 point jump shot was looking nice for a span there. But he's came back down to earth, and it's pretty bad. I don't think he's a good shooter at all. And then Asor has been terrible at shooting the ball. So it's a nasty fit, and I don't like it, to be honest. I think it's a hard decision. But if they do keep the pick, I think they should go best player available. So
I'm not an Ivy
you're
guy, dude.
I'm not either. I'm not either at all. So in this scenario, the Grizzlies get the second overall pick. What would you do with it?
Yep, this is interesting because sorry, my dog is being like incredibly despicable right now, so I'm just like making sure he's not doing something. But okay, I'm gonna go like make the pick and then like look for him. But so
Okay.
for Memphis, I think this team could use some size at the wing still that's reliable, right? Zaire Williams is just not the guy to me. Um, obviously you get Bane back. GG Jackson has been a big piece. He'll be a part of that solution. And I want floor spacing next to Ja. Bane, JJJ, they help in that department. This is where it's hard because I said the other day, number 2 and number 9 on my board aren't very far apart this year. Like there's not a big difference. And I'm going to take the guy who's number 7 on my board. And that might sound hypocritical because like don't make a fit based pick, but there's really not much of a difference from 2 to 9 for me. So I'm actually going to go Cody Williams here, number 2.
I don't think that's a bad
And
pick.
super talented dude. Super talented dude. I actually just did a news story on him this week. So I'm excited for that to come out. But super talented guy. He's one of those dudes where he doesn't even realize how talented he is yet. And there's moments on the court where it's like, holy crap, I could put the ball on the floor and finish through contact. I can pull up from outside. I got feel. I got defensive instincts. I just think if he puts it all together, there's all-star talent there. And he hasn't really figured it out because I think he's a naturally timid player. But if he can just get that intensity, I'm not saying he lacks like effort. He cares, But like once he gets like that confidence, like I am really flipping good, I think that'll make a big difference for him in a sort of arrogant culture in Memphis. I think that's kind of the spot he needs to kind of tap into that. So I think that's a great fit for him.
I've been mocking Ron Holland to the Hawks. I mean, not to the Hawks, to the Grizzlies this entire draft process, especially if they land at like 6. I think he's still one of the best talents in this draft class, and I think you
I'm
couldn't
with you.
expect much. I think you couldn't expect much more of him in Jesus night than what he showed. He started off pretty slow, but over the course of the season, before he got injured, he was pretty good for me. I think he fits Memphis really, really well. They like to get out in transition. He plays hard on defense. His first step is elite. I feel like personally, the jump shot is coming along, but it's grown over the course of the last 18 months, and his shot creation has grown over the course of 18 months. So
100%.
honestly, if it shook out like this, I probably would take Ron Holland because I think he still is a top 3, top 4 player in the draft class as far as just like a prospect, not going off fit. I like Cody Williams though. I think he could be a connected piece for the wing for them. But I feel like honestly, they need someone that's going to be able to space the floor, create his own shot, and I think Cody Williams can do that. His handle kind of worries me on the next level. I don't think his handle is great at all. He needs to definitely put on some weight. I like your point for the aggressiveness, but he's very, very raw to me. I think he still has a lot of growing to do. And just based off what he's been doing in his career, what his brother did at Santa Clara, I think there's a trajectory of them growing into their body and growing as players for sure.
Yeah, he's super talented and he's very high character. That's all you hear about him, Cody. So, like I said, I think he's one of those dudes where I actually think as a raw talent, he's probably the most talented wing in this class. Just pure raw talent. And I think he's one of those guys. He needs to be in an environment where he's supported in that department. And Memphis has a good balance where they don't need a lot from him early, but they have that type of culture that he might need to be into to get the most out of that personality. It's kind of that balance for him, right? I think Memphis is kind of one of those places where if he becomes an all-star, that is where he could become that.
Okay, so OKC is a very, very interesting spot because obviously they are number 1, number 2 in the West right now. Their biggest hole, I feel like personally, is the center position. I think Chet is more of a 4. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the entire NBA. So what I'm looking for them out of this draft process is for them to get a center. And obviously their pick is supposed to be around like 9 or 10 right now. So if they got up here, maybe they trade back, maybe they take someone, but we're going to just operate as if they take someone in this draft class. It's kind of interesting because I like Montes, I like Zachary. I want to get like a 5, but I think a 5 at 3 is outrageous. It's a really big drop off after Alex Sarr.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go and take Zachary Ricochet with a 3rd overall pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder. He fits what they like to do. They like to shoot a lot of threes. He just adds a lot of length to what they already have. And I think you can insert him in a starting lineup if I don't think Giddey can go to the bench. You can run Shea, Dort, Jalen Williams, Zachary, and Chet. He's a 3 and D guy. I don't think he's gonna be like elite defensively, but he's good defensively. His concerns for me is not much of a playmaker. His shot creation ability, I'm not really high on that either. Not like a great finisher, like where he's like creating a lot of advantages, finishing strong at the paint. But I think he can work really well off ball, which is what OKC likes to do a lot. And I think he can fit on almost any team in the entire NBA. Honestly, I think he's one of those players that can fit on any team, and I think he'll fit well nicely here. So they go here with one of the most talented players in the draft class, and one of the he fits on the team nicely, and he's shooting like 40% of threes. He's a sniper out there.
Yeah, like 46 or something. He's shooting great.
It's crazy. So that's why I'm gonna go with 3rd pick.
Yeah, super athlete too. I mean, he can move at that size. Like he can move. That boy has an insane second jump. And then Portland. I'm going to follow up on what you said about who you take number 2. I think I'm going to go Ron Holland here.
Okay.
I'm just going to make it quick because I do agree that he's 3rd on my board right now. And he is just – it's hard because the G League I guess, resume is horrid right now, and there's going to be a lot of doubt. I think that's partially why he's dropping, because we're watching Scoot and Jalen Green kind of stink up the joint this year, and he, he's kind of the least touted prospect among those guys, even though he's honestly been as good as they were in the G League. So there's a weird balance there, but I'll say this: I think he's the most naturally intense guy of those three, and he is somebody I trust defensively the most of those three. And he is a great transition threat. And while his on ball creation is getting better, he's not as on ball oriented as those two, where I think if they're not creating off the dribble, they're not impactful. He actually, I think, is going to be impactful because he's a good connective passer when he needs to be. He's a good rim pressurer, and his spot up game is getting better. I don't think early on he's going to be a high usage player, but eventually he can grow into that. So I think Ron Holland is going to be just fine in the NBA, and I think in Portland that's a very solid fit because they do need one of those lockdown perimeter guys in the wing. And even though I wouldn't call him a lockdown guy in the G League, he does stack some stocks, and he was known defensively in high school. So I think he is somebody who you can trust defensively at the next level.
Yeah, at Duncanville, he was an elite high school defender. And I feel like one of my concerns with him, just watching him over the course of the season, he plays at one speed. It's like he just always attack. So I want to see him, harness that energy and develop some type of like change of pace, of some type of pacing. If he just, uses his elite foot quickness, stuff like that, to just harness it and then know when to balance that change of pace, he's going to be a very special, I think, offensive player. So I like Ron Holland, and I think he's still one of the better players in this draft class. So taking him at 4 makes a lot of sense. Definitely don't want to go guard there, but I want them to get some size. If you would have went like Matas, I would have been definitely happy with that. I think they should go for.
I don't think Montas is a top 10 pick, dude. I really don't.
Oh man.
I don't think he's a top 10 pick. I think, first of all, I don't think he's as big as people think he is. I was in Vegas to watch him a couple games, and they say he's 6'10". I actually think he's more 6'8". I don't think he's 6'10" at all. I think his wingspan, I think he's one of those dudes, bro, where obviously the combine is more strict now, but I think he's one of those dudes who wants to run away from the combine because I think his wingspan is neutral at best, and I think his hands are small. I don't think he's a special athlete. And he's not a great shooter, and he's upright. I just don't think he's a top 10 pick. I think he has some good connective skills. I think he has a good feel. I think he has a good second level game. And, he's a smart player. I just don't think he's a top 10 pick, even in this draft.
Well, we get to it. I don't know if I'm going to select him next, but I'll have to disagree with that. I like Matas a lot. And so we're here with the 5th overall pick.
If he's 6'10", bro, I'm gonna tell girls I'm 6'5". Because I'm 6'3" in shoes. I'm 6'3" in shoes. I'll tell girls I'm 6'5".
I do think his wingspan is probably neutral. His hands are small, and I do agree that his handle was.
Hands, bro. He's got those Kenny Pickett hands.
He does. I think his handle was is a lot worse than what advertised. Obviously, it is.
It's upright.
I don't think. It's not. He's very stiff. But what would I want to do here? So, I think I know what I'm going to do.
I know exactly what I would do.
Well, I know what you would do. I think you would just take Reed Sheppard. I think it's what you would do.
I'll take Reed Sheppard right here. He's my number 2 pick.
Yeah. I knew you would take Reed Sheppard, but I think I'm going to take someone with a little bit more creation upside. I'm kind of like debating it because obviously this is not the right draft order, so I don't know what I would do at this scenario. It's between Reed Sheppard and Isaiah Collier, honestly, because I kind of want to take a guard here.
Mm-hmm. It's a quietly good guard class, by the way. I think people don't give this guard class enough credit.
I think it's pretty nice, yeah. Reed Sheppard or Isaiah Collier. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. I think I've been pretty low on Isaiah Collier. I think we had a conversation about that on Twitter. But he's been playing well since the injury. And I think his game is just – he has more potential than Reed Sheppard, I feel like, personally. I'm going to go Isaiah Collier with the 5th overall pick. They do need a point guard. I understand Reed Sheppard, but let me just get into what I like about Isaiah Collier. He can get to the paint. He's a walking paint touch. I think he creates advantages a lot. His jumper is not there. He needs to improve his free throw shooting as well. But he is a good playmaker. I think he's the second best live ball passer in this draft class. I almost don't understand why I didn't take Nikola Topic. What? I don't know. I just really thought about that.
Yeah, Topic is
Like,
the
there's no
guy
kid on.
I would have taken if it wasn't
Yeah,
Sheppard. That's the guy I would have taken. But I
yeah.
honestly, bro, I honestly think that all the four of those guards are better than the top wings we just took. I'll say that. It's one of those weird
Yes,
drafts. Because right now I have those four guards ranked ahead, even though I think those wings are going to go higher in the draft because of the fit. Because point guard is one of those positions where if you're strictly a point guard, it's really hard to take you really high unless you need a point guard. So, like right here,
yeah. So
I would take Topic
I would
right
take
here.
Topic.
But
I would take
you already
Topic.
took you took Collier. I'll take Sheppard. Give me Sheppard.
Okay, Sheppard over
He's-
Topic for the Spurs.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They need shooting. They need shooting. They need shooting. I mean,
They do.
Topic long. I think Sheppard's a better player, and I love Topic. I just think Sheppard's the best player in the class. Year one. I think Sarr's the best prospect. I think Sheppard's the best player.
I love Kentucky. That's my favorite college basketball team. I'm really high on Reed Sheppard.
I think that
But
I think with the Spurs, let me explain myself. They need shooting. He's easily the best shooter in the class. Easily. It's not even close. I think that in the NBA, his playmaking on ball is going to really shine more. So he's playing more of an off ball role. He's playing on the bench. So that 4 assist mark is actually quite impressive when you consider that. And he always makes the right read. When I watch him play, it's always like, boom, right pass right there. Boom, right there. You can tell his parents are basketball players. You can tell he's like a coach's son, right? He just knows exactly where the ball is always supposed to be. I think he's going to be a better rim pressure in the NBA than people think. He kind of has that Steph Curry thing about him where he can get under the rim and then just like finish through contact better than people think. And he can pull up. There's some players that I used to overthink. Like Tyrese Halliburton, I overthought because I was like, how does he get to those spots with that form, right? But he just gets to it and pulls up. And I see a lot of that in Sheppard. And I think he's going to be the best rookie. He'd be my early rookie of the year pick. And I think in a Spurs team where they need IQ, they need floor spacing, they need some tenacity, especially on the defensive end, because none of those guards, none of those wings are doing anything on the defensive end. They need some tenacity there. And while Sheppard isn't an elite on-ball defender, he is a brilliant defender. And he is a great team defender. And the Spurs under Popovich could really use that. That's what Popovich likes. So I think Sheppard is an easy pick here.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to undo my Isaiah Collier pick. Kind of wanted to go back to Nikola Topic for the Wizards, but it's already done, so we'll leave it at that. But I like a lot what you said about Reed Sheppard. I watched every single Kentucky game this year. My favorite college basketball team. I love Reed Sheppard. For the Spurs, I would probably go Nikola Topic. I think they need someone that can consistently create advantages. Where I think Nikola Topic is better than Reed Sheppard. That I understand the shooting point. But he's a walking paint touch. I think he's a better passer, better playmaker than Reed Sheppard, and that's they need someone to consistently get.
Also, a significantly worse shooter.
Involved.
Also, a significantly worse defender. The Spurs need everything, and I don't think that this is the type of draft where you want to solve the creation advantage problems because this isn't a draft to discover that problem. What you're looking for is fillers around your best player in this class. There's no. I think Topic is a really good prospect. I don't think there's one absolutely elite shot creator in this class. I don't think there's one. So if there's not one, then why am I trying to solve this problem at the top?
Rob Dillingham.
I'm going for the best player. And I think Sheppard's the best overall player. And I think he actually fills more long-term needs for the Spurs. And they still have the assets to go after more creation.
You're saying best overall player in the draft or at the spot?
Right now, he's the best player.
Okay. So look, I think Reed Sheppard's going to be more of an off guard in the NBA. I still have some questions about his shot creation ability, his advantage creation ability, like on the ball. A lot of his points right now come from assists. He has shown strides in it, but let's talk about defense. He's going to be a great off ball defender. I feel like a great team defender. Like
I think on ball he'll be pretty good too. I really do.
I don't think so.
I think he's a better athlete than people give him credit for. And I think he is really smart at timing when people are going to dribble, and he steals it a lot, right?
Yeah,
so
he has some good hands. He has some good hands.
Kind of like how T.J. McConnell is a better on-ball defender than you would think. I think that's how Sheppard's going to be on ball. And then I know people be like T.J. McConnell top 6. I'm talking about that one specific dimension of the game. And like I said, I I think that I agree. I don't think he has a ton of creativity off the dribble at all. But I'd also say this. So doesn't Tyrese Halliburton. But you know what Tyrese Halliburton does? He gets to spots and he pulls up. And he also uses high motion, high movement to open his own shot. And I think Sheppard can do a lot of that. So I think sort of like how Mark Price would get his own shot back in the day, I think Sheppard can do that. So that's where I'm at with it. I think he's one of those guys that you just don't overthink. Because there's a lot of people who get obsessed with space creation. And the most important thing about space creation is being able to give yourself your best chance to make your shot. Well, if you're making 52% of your threes, you're making a lot of your shots as it is. So I just think Sheppard's going to be really good. And I think that for the Spurs, for what they could use in this draft, especially at pick 6, that's who I would take. I think Topic, I like Topic a lot. He's my number 4 prospect. But I think with Topic, I just don't think he's as good as Reed Sheppard, and I think there's real shooting and real defense questions coming into the NBA. Spurs really need to figure out both. I think more so than advantage creation, because their advantage creation is some 7'4" guy in the paint. So,
yeah, I understand what you're saying. I like a lot what you're saying, but I don't know. I like Reed Sheppard. I think he can go. I would have him going to more like the Rockets. Like he landing with the Rockets, that would be amazing for me. Playing next to Amin Thompson, playing next to Sengun, high level playmakers who can garner a lot of attention and get him the ball. So I think he's gonna be like an elite level role player in the NBA. That's what I see for him.
I think he's a potential all-star.
See, yeah, and that's where I'm not ruling it out for him, but I don't see that for him personally. And now that we know, Topic is going to slip now because I'm not taking him here. So Charlotte obviously has LaMelo, and they have Brandon Miller. Mm-hmm. I think Brandon Miller can play the 2 or the 3.
Great.
I'm going to do it. I already know what I want to do. I'm going to take Montes Buzelis right here with the 7th overall pick to the Hornets. Man. I understand a lot what you said, but as far as him being a great shooter, his history shows he's a great shooter. He was a great shooter.
He shot low volume in high school from 3.
I think
his shot will be fine in the NBA. I just don't think he's a special shooter.
I don't think he's a special shooter either, but I think he helps the spacing issue in Charlotte for sure. I think he's going to be a good
on-ball defensive questions. Because he's a good weak side defender. He's a good weak side defender.
That's how I was about to get into. He's a good weak side defender. I think he's going to be a good spot up player. I think he'll be able to move instinctively off the cut. He has good feel for the game. He has good touch. He can take advantages of mismatches as far as like getting to the paint and stuff like that. I think he is. He's not a special athlete to me, but he's a better athlete than what I think give him credit for. So I like Montes Buzelis here. I don't think he's falling out of my top 10. Nowhere near close. I like him to fit here in Charlotte a lot. Playing next to Melo, playing next to Brandon Miller, where you don't have to be a high usage player, can use like stuff called pin downs, cutting, getting out of transition. I think he'll be able to take advantage of slower footed players on the wings, stuff like that. So I like Montes Buzelis as a prospect and his fit here for the Charlotte Hornets for sure.
I would have taken Stephon Castle.
It came across my mind, but again, I'm not a fan of his half-court game, especially playing against next to Brandon Miller and LaMelo. I think they need more spacing.
They don't need it. I think he's a way better defender than Montes is, especially on ball. And he's actually a very underrated walking paint touch. Like in high school, he was a walking paint touch, and in college, he can get to the rim. And he's one of those guys. He's not going to take away from LaMelo and Miller offensively. He is totally cool. Those guys playing their game offensively. He's going to be a tertiary guy who can attack the paint and make really good reads. And defensively, he'll be that point of attack guy who's big enough to guard 1 to 3. So he would have been my guy.
It came across my mind for sure. It definitely came across my mind, but I like Castle. Can't shoot. I don't think he's that great in the half court at all. Honestly, doesn't have like a lot of bursts, not a lot of athleticism. But he is gonna be a great defender.
That's why you have Miller and Miller.
I think Rev, obviously. I talk to Rev daily from Pick Aside.
Yeah.
And he compared him to Drew Holiday. That's his high end outcome. Drew Holiday, and I think that's pretty valid,
I see
especially
it.
if jump shot can come along. But you're with the 8th overall pick.
Number 8, I'm gonna go Castle. Let's make it quick.
Okay.
I mean, he's gotten significantly better as the years gone on, and I think when you have Thompson brewing, this team they can keep adding defense, and Tari Eason and Almond Thompson's a really good defensive pairing going forward. Let's get another guy who's connective, who can defend. I think he has more long-term creation upside than he gets credit for. Just somebody that, his offensive confidence very much is up and down right now, but incredibly talented dude and very complete. And I think he's a great fit here.
I probably honestly would go Rob Dillingham here, to be honest, just because I think that the spacing is a real issue, especially with Drive Castle.
Yeah.
With having having Castle and Sengun on the court at the same time would be kind of disastrous for me. Defensively, though, it would be amazing. Defensively, it'd be amazing, though, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Jabari Smith is a nice asset in that regard.
So, okay, this works out perfectly. Oh, because I didn't want Topic to slip too much. But do you think it's? I don't know. I think it wouldn't be terrible to draft both of them. I think
they have no point guards. I mean, they have no point guards. I'm fine with it.
I don't think it'd be terrible to draft both of these players. I've seen some Spurs fans say that this would be the ideal outcome for them to get Topic and Reed Sheppard. And I think Reed can play off ball. I don't know what they would do with what is his name? Always. Would you have Reed Sheppard off the bench? No, not Jimmy Sohan. No. That shooting guard. He's Devin Vassell. I don't know if they would bring him off the bench or bring Reed Sheppard off the bench. Probably Reed. But I think Topic is a clear pick here. You get him at 9 for all the reasons I already said earlier. I think him and Wemby would be a great pairing. And I think Topic's jump shot can, improve. I think it really will improve. I think it'd be respectable at least. I don't know how good he's going to be off the. I don't think he's going to be like great off the dribble, like with pull-up jump shots or anything like that. But I like his form. I think it could definitely improve going into the NBA. So I'm glad that the Spurs get this pick because I didn't want Topic to fall out too much for the integrity of our draft. And I think he's the top prospect in his class. So that's a great spot for him.
You think he's the top prospect?
No, not the top prospect. I think he's top 5 though. I would say.
I would respect that because he was number 1 on my board at one point. Mm-hmm. I respect that. I agree. I think his spot up shooting is going to be fine in the NBA. He's got really good touch. He's going to be one of those touch shooters where those touch shooters where they're maybe never like a 42% guy from 3, but they're just kind of dependable. And once in a while they'll just hit a shot. Like how in the world do they make that? I think Topic will be like that. He's like, what is he? 87% on the line. So that's a good sign. And who has the 10th pick?
The 10th pick, let me scroll up. My bad. It is the Hawks.
Okay. It's hard because I still have one really good prospect available in Dillingham. Don't think he's going to go here. So can you scroll down a little bit?
Yep. I have 2 people in mind right now.
I'm going to take Dalton.
Really?
Yeah.
Dalton connect?
Yep.
That's interesting.
It was him or Saloon for me. And Saloon, when I watch Saloon, I see a really good role player. And I don't see anything more than that. I think he's a really smart cutter. I think defensively, he's smart, weak side. I think Saloon, the weird thing about Saloon is that in the NBA, they're going to want him to be like one of those like Jaden McDaniels type wings, right? Especially defensively. I just don't think his feet are nimble enough in the perimeter. So I think he's actually going to struggle, guarding creators. So I think he's going to have issues there, but he's going to be a good cutter and spot up guy. I think Dalton is funny because my comp for him is like discount Devin Booker because he's not Devin Booker, but the way he creates is sort of similar, especially young Devin Booker. And I think this Hawks team could use more creation, even though Trae Young is as heliocentric as it gets. But they get another scorer who can play off of those guys, hit spot ups, but he can also finish around the rim. He can pull up. he's high motion, and I think that's going to be very helpful around Trey. So I think he's the best player available outside of Dillingham. So that's where I went.
Are you not high on Kyle Flipowski?
I wouldn't take him here.
I was thinking about taking.
Okay.
I honestly would
I
have
like
took
Dalton more.
I probably would have took Klingon, to be honest. I think he's center bad, really, really badly. Capella is really washed. I feel like personally.
Kongu.
I mean, I think he's more of a 4. I don't know if he can play 5 in the NBA. Is he like
He can't
6'9"?
stretch it though. I mean, he's a fine mid-range shooter, but I just think having Capella, Kongu, and Klingon on the same roster is kind of nasty work because you can't play all three of them. I don't think you could play more than 2 traditional centers in the NBA.
It hurts to see my guy. It hurts to see my guy Rob fall this far, but I would not be selecting him here either. Don't think he need to guard. I have consistently selected. Oh, I'll just go center here. Never mind. I thought I was going to go like Johnny Perthy or somebody. But never mind. They need a center very, very badly, and I think Donovan Klingon is Klingon is one of the best prospects in this draft class. He's an elite rim protector. I feel like. I think he has some passing feel. I like that from what he does passing the ball. But he's not going to be a high minutes guy. And so I think you can start him, and then he can just help with the rebounding. They have a rebounding problem really bad, and they need a traditional center who can protect the rim, who can pass, who's not like just an offensive liability. Can't really stretch the floor at all, but we never know. He can work on his game. I think a player like that, he's not going to be able to play like 35 minutes. He's 7'2", probably like 270.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's a really smart player, has a lot of feel for the game, is a good rim protector. So I think this makes sense for them to get center right here.
Good player. He's my number 3 center. I like Missy a little more, but I do like Klingon a lot. And then this is actually a really easy pick for me because the Bulls are just kind of going to take the really good guard that falls, and Dillingham is the guy I would take here.
Thank God. Thank God you took him. Yes, I think
Dillingham.
Go ahead.
He's got real star upside. He is a stud. And honestly, like he's my number 6 prospect, and I can see him go as high as top 3. He's really good. And like those Kentucky guards, man, it's a good Kentucky guard class. He's kind of like if Bones Highland was good. That's kind of my comp. Like he's like a good version of Bones Highland. And I mean that in a good way because there's definitely a spectrum of that archetype. Because I think the top of that spectrum is like a Kyrie Irving type player. And then the bottom of that spectrum is like a Bones Highland type player. So he's like in the Kyrie Irving to Bones Highland spectrum. I think he's closer to the Kyrie Irving side. So I'll say it like that. So I think he's really good. And his playmaking is better than I thought it was going to be. He doesn't really turn over the ball. And he's smart. And he is a dynamic scorer who's a better rim pressurer than his body suggests. 159. That's lightweight. And I think this is a steal.
I think the rim pressuring is still a concern. I think he's probably making like 54, 55 around the rim. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while, but that's last time I checked. It was like maybe mid 50s, high 50s.
He's not afraid to get to the rim, though. That's the good thing about him.
For sure.
He doesn't shy away.
I love Rob, man. I think he does have star upside in this class, for sure. If anyone does, he does. He's a very, very special scorer. He's electric. He can play. He's shown that he can play on and off the ball this year, which was a concern. Can he be a winning player? That was the stigma around him, but he's shown he can be.
Overtime,
I think he kind of plays erratic. I was just watching him today. Lost to Mississippi State. Wade Taylor. I mean Texas A&M. My bad. Wade Taylor lit us up, but I think he's gonna be a terrible defender probably in the NBA. But on the offensive end, I agree with you. He's probably on that Bones Highland spectrum. I did compare him to Darius Garland at the start of the year because I foresaw that his playmaking would continue to grow, which it has. I think Darius Garland's more pass first than him, but they're very crafty, shifty players, electric players. But I think Darius Garland is probably a better prospect. But I like Robert
I
Dillingham.
agree.
I see people compare him to like Brandon Jennings and Lou Williams. I think that's like all the same
That's all on
caliber.
the Bones Island to
Yeah,
Kyrie spectrum, man. We're just naming different paths of it. It's like, okay, the
yeah,
15th percentile, the 30th percentile. Like Garland's like the 80th percentile between the Bones
yeah.
Highland to Kyrie Irving spectrum. Lou's probably 65, right? So
What do you want to do with
Brandon
the 13th
Jennings is
overall pick
probably
to
the
the?
30 percentile.
What do you want to do with the Pelicans pick here? I think they need center bad. I think they need point guard probably as much as they need center.
Yeah. I'll leave that to you.
Oh no, it's my pick. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
it's your pick.
Um,
I'm
I
not going to
thought
be
it was
dirty
your
like
pick.
that.
All right, so now I used to love Jacoby Watts. I still love Jacoby Watts. Still one of my favorite prospects, but he has fell a lot for me. He's fell out of the lottery for me, depending on how it breaks down. Because he is very, very inefficient. He is terrible on defense. And his on ball creation is not there at all. I think you can use some shot making around Zion and Bi, so they can play off the ball. But I think they need a point guard that actually facilitates. And so I'm going to actually address the center spot here. I think Jonas Valanciunas, he's a terrible defender, especially in the pick and roll. I'm going to select Eves Missy because I think
Good pick.
he's going to be a great rim protector, high energy guy. He's a great athlete. He's shown some flashes of being able to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. Not going to be a great shooter, which is having Zion and having Eves Missy as your 4-5. Offensively, it's kind of nasty, but they made it work with Jonas Valanciunas. I think Jonas Valanciunas is a good post player, good passer, and he's being able to space the floor a little bit as well. So that's why they may be able to make it work. But somehow they got to be able to make it work. At least have him as a backup, at least, because their rim protection is trash. So I like Eves Missy here. He's my third center rank for me.
Good pick. I like that. The floor spacing next to Zion is a little gross, but I do think he's the best center available. Kel'el Ware is another guy I would have thought of because I know that he's kind of polarizing, but historically, rim protecting centers who can shoot 40% from three isn't a bad thing. So something to think about.
No, I think I'm higher on Kel'el Ware than a lot of scouts, honestly. And I like the mid range game. The 40% from three is like on low attempts, I believe. As far as him being a rim protector, I think he has ways to go in that. Don't think he's like the best rim protector ever, but he's still pretty athletic and stuff like that. He shrinks in big games against like talented centers. I feel like, he needs to add some size. So,
and who is?
Yeah. My bad.
Is this Portland?
Portland.
Okay. Interesting.
I would go center here. I'm just out.
So this is interesting. I'm gonna go Saloon here.
Okay.
I'm getting bigger as a roster. I just added Holland and Saloon, right? So my wings are getting filled. And like I said, he's 11 on my board. So I think 14th overall is good value. I think he's a really instinctual offensive player as a cutter. I think his spot of shooting is gonna be really good. And I think he's got pretty good feet. But defensively, which is where I think they'll need him to thrive. Oh, also he's got a huge frame. Like he's got like big arms for a guy of that archetype, which is interesting. I'm not sure how important that is, but just something to mention. And defensively, I think he's going to be a good roamer. On ball, I think he might be a little disappointing in the NBA level just because, like I said, I don't think he's got incredible lateral feet when it comes to like guarding. Like when I was watching some of his tape, it looked, he didn't look nimble enough, in my opinion. His feet kind of, I don't know the word for it, but just he lacked nimbleness. And I think that's going to be a problem if he switches on like a 2. I think he can guard 3 to 4. And I think he is good roaming so he can protect the rim when there's like a 5, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like to pick. People compare him to MPJ, elite spot up guy who can knock on 3, and he's 6'10", and he can. He's very opportunistic as a cutter, off ball player. And I think I don't know if Chauncey Billups will be the coach for them much longer, but so I think a smart coach, like let's say he was getting drafted by Will Hardy or something like that. Could take great advantage of his skill set as a player.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Saloon. I think he's very, very raw. I think it's like a boomer bust pick for sure. And
Yeah, I
they
think he's
have the
like.
room to do that.
I would compare him to like this. My comp for him was like if Josh Green got like growth hormones and he became 6'10" all of a sudden. Like that's somebody I mentioned for Saloon. I think he's a really good role player.
Yeah, probably for sure. No, they have it's Toronto Raptors with the 15th overall pick. Okay. So I think I know what I want to do here. They have who do they have? What am I looking for? Who am I looking for? Emmanuel quickly. What do you think? So do you think they take a guard here, or what do you have them taking as far as one of their needs? Because I want to go with Tyler Smith is what I'm alluding to. Tyler Smith, honestly.
I think that's a really good pick. I think if they took a guard here, I don't think it would be to replace Emmanuel quickly. So I don't think he's like the factor with this pick. So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, they kind of need somebody that's gonna be like a offensive player. Like I don't know. But I do want to take Tyler Smith here with the 15th overall pick. I don't know what other scouts are thinking of him as a player, but I think he has the potential to be better defender than what he is in G League Ignite. But a small forward, power forward, 6'10", like a space the floor. He's been G League Ignite's most consistent player, I feel like, over this draft process for me. And I think you just add floor spacing, length around Scotty Barnes is you can't go wrong with that. And so I like Tyler Smith as a prospect a lot for sure.
He might be a better prospect than some specific player he took 7th overall, but that's a different combo.
No, he's not better than Montes. And I want to say something before we take you take the pick with the Magic, but I would have thought to connect with the Magic so bad, bro, because he would be so good in a Magic uniform, bro. He's crazy. I don't think we talked about dots connecting up, but yeah, man. I don't think he's gonna be this talented with scoring in the NBA. I don't like because like if he was this good as he is in college, he would be like an all-star. He is older, so I think he's gonna come in and have some instant impact offensively. I think he could be a great 6-man in the league. That's why I thought about dots connect. I want him to go to the Magic really bad. They need offense, floor spacing, shooting a lot. He can get it done at all 3 levels, but he's a terrible defender too. But yeah, I want to see what you're going to take here for Magic because they need offense a lot.
I think Jacoby Walter is good value here.
I do. I agree. Is that what you want to select? Walter?
Mm-hmm. I think he's a better shooter than his stats suggest. He's not
for sure.
I don't think he needs the ball at the NBA level. So you're getting a decent athlete with a good frame who can shoot, and you hope that he can kind of follow like a Kadavius Caldwell-Pope path, I think, in the NBA. And I think that the Magic could use that type of player.
The thing is, though, they've selected so many guards like over the last few years, like a lot of them. But you know, I think they need someone like how tall he's like 6'5". It could definitely work.
Yeah.
I feel like they just need some more like offense in a starting line, man. Like they need it bad. Like will he start for you? Like so they got Suggs.
No, not right away.
No. Probably not right away.
They also got Jett Howard kind of there too,
lingering.
They have a surplus of draft picks. Like frankly, they need to start like cutting off of some young players.
For sure. I was actually going to take Jacoby Walter here at 17 if he slips, but he will not. So I have my eyes on a few prospects here because I think that the Sixers need someone that's going to help them be able to win now. It's like that because they're in like a win-now position. I don't know what Joel Embiid is going to do this summer, but I think their power forward position is a big hole for them. Tobias Harris is going to be leaving this offseason probably. I think my Pistons will probably give him some money. And looking at across his roster, they don't have another power forward. For me, I think that's their biggest holes. Not anyone notable. So I want to take Kyle Flipowski. I think he can arguably go higher than this pick right here. He's a lottery pick for me. But the 3-point shooting, I don't know if it's good as it appears to be in college, but I think it's there. I think he's a very versatile offensive player. He's improved on the defense end this year. Personally, for me, he has good size, good feel. He's tough, and so I like Kyle Filipowski as a prospect. And I think the Sixers won't be the worst spot for him at all.
Yeah, I have no problem with that pick. It's good value. New York Knicks. Whew. So this is actually a really good spot for the Knicks because I think a lot of these guys would help a lot. Because there's a few really good guards left. I think there's two borderline lottery type guards available still. I think McCain and Devin Carter are both really good. I think they'll be really good Knicks, particularly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting. I think that I'm trying to think. I'm between those two players. I'm between those two guards. I know they have another pick coming up soon. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Because they have like pick 22 as well, right?
Yeah, I had them taking guard and center in this class and leaving out of it.
You know what? I'm just gonna take the risk that one of those guys will be gone, and I just get to pick whoever's left. So you know what? I'm gonna go Killel Ware here.
That has been routinely my pick for the Knicks at 18 throughout this process. I think they, Mitch Robinson has his injury concerns, and then I don't know. I think Isaiah Hartenstein is on his last year his deal, so I don't know how long they're gonna be able to keep him because he's obviously a premium backup center. He possibly start this league, so you want to get some center depth, and I think he's talented offensively, which is the inverse of what Mitch Robinson and Hartenstein are.
Exactly.
And so I think Khalil Ware is a great pick here. Some scouts are higher than others, but I'm very, very high on Khalil Ware. I love Khalil Ware.
I'd move off of Mr. Robinson from the Knicks. I'd move him this summer and keep Hartenstein. The best part of the Knicks season had Hartenstein as their center. And Mitchell Robinson has always been hurt, and that is not going to change. If we think that is going to change, you're absolutely crazy. And if you want a guy like Khalil Ware to be a valuable piece on your team, you don't want to have him have the pressure to start because Mitchell Robinson's hurt and Hartenstein's gone. So I'd move off of Robinson to keep Hartenstein.
I know. So the Heat here, they love these guys that are like scrappy, and I think they'll probably draft someone that's going to be ready now. That's been what they've known to do over the last few seasons, and so I can see them going in a different positions. I don't think they're going to go point guard because they already have Terry Rozier, who they're paying a few billion for the next couple of years. I think they probably go again with the wing spot, but I also see them like going for a 4. I think they need a 4 badly. But there's no one I kind of want to take here. Maybe Deron Holmes. Like this is the FanSpo consensus, and they're a lot lower on Deron Holmes than I am. What do you think about that selection? You think that's too high or no?
I think that this draft is I think there's so much parity. I don't think at this point in time I can really hate on a player like that because players like that always rise into the first round. Every year it happens. Yep. So at this point in time, it might sound like a reach, but in 3 months it might not be. So I don't see why you wouldn't take him if you like him.
I don't think he's a reach at all. I'm going to go Deron Holmes here with the nicely overall. I think the power forward spot is a big issue for them. Power forward center, especially backup center. They've struggled with size over the last seasons, especially in the NBA Finals. I think he's a good offensive player as well. He's older, so he can help them win now. He don't need a lot of time to develop. Having a great year at Dayton this season. He's been efficient. So I like Deron Holmes. I was thinking about another player who hopefully you selected at 20. I was thinking about Kevin Culler too. That's not the player I'm talking about. But I think he's been a good wing that can dribble pass, and his 3-point shot has been looking better this year. But they have like James who kind of fits in that role, so didn't take him there. So I took Deron Holmes. They need a power for it.
This is an easy pick for me here for Atlanta.
Okay,
I'm gonna take Ryan Dunn.
Okay, they do need a defender. Lot. They do. But his offensive game is terrible. It is bad.
It's bad. It's bad as a shooter. It's really bad as a creator. He's not an idiot with the ball. I think he can make solid reads, and I think he's really good in transition. Very high-end athlete. And I'm a fan at this point of the draft taking players with outlier abilities. And he's one of those dudes. Like, I'm not a huge Swiss Army guy at this point of the draft. I want guys with outlier traits. And Ryan Dunn's defense is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is like a better version of a T. Stybel on that end. Like, he's a freak. And I think if you're getting a guy who you can a pretty solid bet to make an all defensive team, as horrid the offense might be, I think at 20, and when you're Atlanta and you don't need him to create at all, I think it's no brainer.
Then you got to really big on that 3-point shot development because having him play next to Trae Young, if you keep him, it's gonna be like he's not gonna get any respect on the 3-point line. They
No,
literally leave
but
him open.
20, you already took Dalton, right?
Yep.
So
Okay, I was looking at somebody else there, but let's see who has 21 first pick. I already know I'm gonna do it here. With the 21st overall pick, I'm gonna have the Suns selecting Devin Carter. I think they need a point guard very, very badly.
great size. He's 16 foot 8 inches tall. Like, we talk about Wemby as a prospect, but I think we very much underrate the fact that he's a 16 foot 8 point guard. So
yeah, I don't know
great
what
size.
that's about.
He's like the Wemby of point guards. So this is a great pick.
But yeah, man, I think he's a very fierce competitor on both ends of the ball, especially defensively as well. I think it helped us the Suns a lot. Going to be able to distribute it. And is it true he averaged 8 rebounds a game?
Oh, he's a beast on the boards, bro.
Oh man,
like he's 16 foot 8 inches tall. What do you expect?
Man, I haven't called a lot of Providence, but I've seen some film with him. But I like him because the Spurs desperately need a point guard, and they're in that spot where they're going to want to win now, and they'll have time for players to develop. He's going to come in and be integral early, so I think he can come in and maybe even be part of the starting lineup, depending on what happens with Grayson Allen and stuff like that. But
this made my life easier because I was thinking one of Devin Carter and Jared McCain would be gone at this spot. So I don't have to pick between the two. So I'm going Jared McCain 22 overall.
It's a great fit. They need backup a lot, and I like what he can do as a shooter, especially off the ball. I don't think he's like a great creator or anything like that at all. Doesn't have like elite
He's
athleticism.
solid.
Yeah, he's solid at pretty much everything. Pretty much everything. He has good touch too. He has good touch, like great touch.
Reminds me a little bit of Brogdon, a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely reminds me of Brogdon. All right, with the 23rd overall pick, we are back with the Pelicans, and I think they need point guard still. I don't know who I want to take here though. At number 23, just because I think it's too high for Tyler Kolek. Let's look.
I like Tyler Kolek, man. I like him a lot.
I don't know about 23rd overall though. Bub
He's
Carrington,
got a lot of props to him.
I don't think Bub Carrington is a first round pick, honestly. I think Bub Carrington should come back to college next year. Not a lot of great point guards this late. I'm gonna go with Tyler Kolek though. I have checking him at the spot in my mock drafts earlier.
I like it.
He's a great leader. His jump shot's gonna be there, but he's a great facilitator. I think he's gonna be able to come in and help a team win pretty early. He's just a very, very smart player. Like you said, he's very, very. He's like you said about Jared McCain. He's just solid. Not a great athlete. Not a great like finisher or nothing like that. But he is crafty. He's smart. He's a fierce competitor. So Tyler Kolek, he can fit with the Pelicans for sure.
Interesting pick here. I would like somebody who can play right now. Can you go down a little bit?
This is where I wanted to pick. What's his name? The dude you selected for the Hawks.
Ryan Dunn.
Yes, because they need a defender very, very badly.
I am going to go. I'm gonna go. I'm not a fan of taking like a project-ish player. I'm gonna take Johnny Furphy here.
Thank God. Oh, I didn't want him to fall out the first round or something like that. That would have been crazy.
I don't think he's as ready as people think he is. I mean, he's a really smart cutter. He's a really good spot-up guy. He's tall, obviously. He's very thin. And, I mean, he's 202. He doesn't look 202 on the court, in my opinion. He looks thinner than 202. So you can tell me if I'm crazy if you disagree, but I think he looks like 190. I think he's a thin guy. So I think he's going to take a lot of time, which I don't love for Milwaukee, but he is a shooter. And if he's more ready than we give him credit for, I think this is the type of player they need.
I can see Charlie Perfect going a lot higher than what he was. As soon as he got started minutes,
Mm-hmm.
he became really, really productive. He is a great cutter. He is a great shooter. On defense, I think he is opportunity as a playmaker, especially in passing lanes. I think he is a better athlete than you're giving credit for sure, especially him being 6'9".
Yes.
So I can see him going as far as in the lottery.
Looks like a hockey player.
With the 25th pick, I think. Okay, so I've been seeing the center really, really badly. Let's look at the options. Zach Edey is not a first round pick to me. No way, no how. I don't know. With the Wizards, it's like you need everything. So it's like kind of just want to get the best player available at this point. I don't think Kevin McCullough really helps them. Bobby Clement is what I'm going to do. I love him. I think he has probably the highest ceiling of anyone. Not highest ceiling, like highest upside of anyone left. He is on defense very opportunistic in passing lanes. He's a defensive playmaker. I think he'll be a guard. He's gonna be able to guard a few positions. On offense, he's gonna be able to finish really, really well. I feel like. I think the jump shot is gonna be solid in the NBA. But he's obviously 6'10", very good size, and he's gonna be a project. I feel like you're gonna have to really work on him. But in Washington, you have time to do that. There's no pressure on him to be great right now. And so I like what he's been doing. So I'll definitely take Bobby Clement here. I have someone else in mind who I hope you select at 26, but we'll see what you do. Oh, not 26. Go ahead.
Fun draft, man. I love this draft because it's like there's so much parity in it. And I actually think the depth is pretty good. Like there's a lot of guys at this range of the draft I feel pretty good about, which is interesting. I think there's a drop off once you get to like pick 40, but at this range, I think it's pretty good. Can you scroll down for me? Because I think this team, they have that undrafted point guard. Forgot his name. He's had a really good first year. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Craig Porter Jr.
Yeah. I think that I want to keep adding floor spacing on this team, especially because I think Allen and Mobley as your center, I think that's important. So I'm going to go Kaishan George here.
That's a great selection. Obviously I have concerns about his creation ability. He shot a lot of his attempts are at the 3-point line, but he has high feel. He's going to be able to play big from that three position. He obviously length, and so defensively he's able to create havoc on that end. But I think he definitely needs to get better on that end as well. I wanted him to fall to Utah really, really badly.
Oh yeah. He's a project. I don't think he'd play year one.
Yeah, for sure. But if he was in Utah, though, I think
just somebody nice to have.
Yeah, I think if he was in Utah, though, Utah would just develop so well, like with him.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, Utah's a great fit.
Yeah, for sure. All right, 27 with the Nuggets. I am consistent with them wanting them to have someone where I think they can use them now. So Kevin McCullough comes to mind. I think I butcher his name, bro. They need backup like center badly. Their backup center is not good. But
I just call him the Marquette guy.
Yeah.
I think
they've been kind of like selecting wings like that's gonna be able to come in and have impact. Really, Julian Strawther, and then Peyton Watson, and so they've been selecting wings. I'm gonna go power forward, I think, or center. Let's see what they have on the roster. I don't think they need a backup point guard. All right, I'm gonna butcher his name. Osare. This is who I'm selecting at 27. Yeah, I think he's a very, 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 very instinctual defender. Doesn't have the best size, but as a power forward, I think he's going to be able to play make a little bit. Obviously not like Jokic or anything like that, but I think he's going to be able to connect the piece on offense On defense, he has rebounding and versatility. He's very efficient. Doesn't need the ball in his hands. He's going to be a good defender. Positionally, going to be able to guard like probably the 4 and 5. And I think as a retired rim protector, he's really, really good. So I like this pick for them. I think they need to add to their big depth. They've already drafted Peyton Watson and Julian Charlotte, and Christian Braun, so they have that like guard wing thing already off the bench, and so they can add him to the mix of the bigs. They have Zeke Naji, but I don't think they play him enough, honestly. So that's what I would do here. They could possibly go back to point guard too.
I think it's a good spot. I was thinking of Almanza too. They're kind of similar players in that way, where they're just highly instinctual. I think Iguodala is ahead defensively, but Almanza is also one of those guys who's just high IQ and just really high IQ. And I think you put high IQ players next to Jokic, they figure it out. So 20 is this Timberwolves?
No, this is 28 Timberwolves.
Okay, this is a hard spot for me. So what point guards are available? So Wagner's available. Carrington, Proctor.
Don't think he's a first round pick.
Who?
DJ Wagner. He's been very, very disappointing for me.
I'm with you there. I'm gonna go Tyrese Proctor here.
Good pick.
I think he's frustrating sometimes because it feels like the idea of him is better than what he is. And you see moments where it's like, whoa, that was a highly creative, highly instinctual pass. That was a really nice pull-up move, right? He's got a lot of ideas as a high-end playmaker, but because there's ideas there, because there's flashes there, the upside's there. And I think with Minnesota trying to stay big, I think taking a 6'5" point guard makes a lot of sense. And I think at this point, like, I think his upside, somebody who a lot of people thought would be a top 5, top 10 pick coming into the year, I think it makes a lot of sense.
I thought Tyrese Proctor was going to be one of the best players in college basketball this season, honestly. Possibly like top 15. Just disappointed me greatly this season, but I think, like you said, the idea of him is great. A 6'5", 6'6" point guard who can attack the basket, who can pass, see over the defense. Not the greatest shooter, but he's definitely stepped up his game from 3-point this year, especially off the catch. So I think it's a good pick. I think he's probably slipped out my first round. But in this draft class, and at the back of this class, when you start to, draft for team fit and stuff like that, I think he fits on the Timberwolves. You guys need a point guard. You guys need point guard a lot. I know you guys took what's his name from the Pistons. You guys took us Monte Morris. Yeah, you took him for the
Monte. Pistons, he's a free agent this summer too.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can sign him back, but. All right, I wanted to select Kyson George here because I think that he has one of the highest upsides. And I think Utah is going to go to one upside, not a player that can really help them win now because they're still not this real weird rebuilding stage. I don't know why it says point guard severe here. I think they definitely don't need to go for the point guard. I would probably go with a wing at this spot. Man, I wish the idea of Justin Edwards was who he was. Man. Dylan Jones too old. The small forward spot is like really weird here.
Yeah, it's thin.
I don't think Justin Edwards is. I would rather select Jalen Tyson than Justin Edwards right now. And Kevin McCullough.
He's going to go first round, and I'm not a big McCullough guy because I see way too much Jarrett Culver in this game.
Jarrett Culver?
When I watch him, that's who I think of every time. Every time.
Yeah, they need a wing. All right, I'm going to do it. Kevin McCullough with the 29th overall pick. Come in and help them be a productive player now if he gets minutes. He's able to dribble, obviously 4.4 assists. His injury is really hurt, Kansas when he was out, when he's been out. So I think he's, a very vital player to them. His 3-point shot has been the best. It's been of his career this season. He's been able to be a role player. He's been able to be the guy at Kansas. So he's going to be able to fit in the team atmosphere very well. I think using him with a coach like Will Hardy would be good because he's, one of the best play callers, one of the best off-ball coaches in the NBA. So I think he could fit here. I don't love it. but I couldn't really find anything better to justify taking 29.
Yeah, I'm cool with that pick. And pick 30. So there's a couple guys that still have first round grades on available. There's one guy I really like, and I think he's very underrated. And I'm gonna go Hunter Salas here, 30.
For sure. For sure. He's
I think
underrated.
he should go way higher. I just forgot about him. But yeah, he's one of those, like, people are going to question like his defensive versatility. They're going to question. So he's kind of like, he's 6'4", maybe, right? And he's probably an off ball guard in the NBA, and he's not super dynamic or versatile off ball. I just think he's a hooper. When I watch the dude, I just think he's a hooper. He can really score. He can really shoot. And I think that I don't think this is like a pop-up year. I just think this is like he got his opportunity to show how good he is. And I think what he's doing this year, I think he's legit that good. And I think this is a steal for Boston.
Yeah, I like Hunter Salas too. Probably would have taken him earlier. Like you said, I think he's a little higher than this. I think he's very underrated. I thought about Dylan Jones as well. I think they could probably use another wing because the wing depth is not that great outside of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But he's a gifted scorer. They do got Peyton Pritchard there though. But that is the mock draft. For anybody watching, leave comments on what you agree with, disagree with. Thank you for James for coming up. Spending an hour with me talking NBA draft. The tournament selection is on Sunday, 2 more days, and then it'll be started shortly after that. So I'm sure this is going to change. You always know, like, someone goes crazy in March Madness. They fly up boards. Happens every draft process. But that's going to do it. You guys made it this far. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel, like the video, and follow us on our social media platforms at the top. And thank you guys for watching. We are out.